Good morning. Edinburgh. That's 6 years ago. The time flies, and there was many things happening in that period. I lived in Edinburgh for a couple of years before moving back to London, and well, it's a beautiful city. I have to be honest, it's magical. But unfortunately, it has the same problems that London has. And it has the same problems that a bit everywhere exist. And it's called a broken system. And in this case, obviously, again, it's reflected in all levels, of the living chain, from work to accommodations, and so on. So this story is about something that happened while I live in Edinburgh, and was about one of the big problems that Edinburgh have, that it's accommodations. Obviously, accommodations on its own, it isn't the problem. The problem is a broken system, a broken political system, and it starts from that. A corrupted political system that unfortunately doesn't do the interest of the people, but does the interest and benefit all those banks and corporations that pay those people to run a country that benefit them instead of us. So in 2 years, I would say I had way too many issues with accommodations. Obviously, the main issue was a very little pay that already was pretty disgusting. And again, it's the result of a broken system. And obviously, to save money, I have to find something cheap. Now, something cheap means that most of the time, except if sometime you meet the right people, something cheap means something dodgy. And this is what happened in 3 different places I lived. The first place in Newmarket was a house basically run as a sort of hostel, where rooms being divided in single rooms, and where you were paying just in cash. That's already tell you what was all about. Obviously, dirty, mice everywhere. We even had the police coming to visit the house, to look at the house. Well, nobody knows what actually they were searching or why they were there, but definitely that police knows, and nothing's been done about it. So I couldn't live, permanently in a place like this. So I left, trying to find something better. But this something better is actually didn't happen. because I just keep jumping from a dodgy landlord after another. So searching for a house, well, it's not even a house, searching for a room that could allow me, to not just being part of a modern slavery, but that would allow me to actually live like a human being, saving money. So I found this advertisement for a room not too far from where I stayed initially, and the price was great. So I thought, all right, the law of attraction actually works. I mean, it does work. At least for me, in my journey, it does work. So, and sometimes can work in a way that we don't understand, and sometimes we are not applying the law properly. Again, for experience. So I go to see the room, and already all the situation that I got in, I should have sort of like, ring my sixth sense, because I got inside the house and there was this guy lying on the couch saying that he was sick and unwell. All right, and for some reason I thought there was nothing wrong with that. So the house was good, good condition, it was clean, and I understood straight away what happened. The guy lived in what is the living room and rented the room, the proper room, that in this case to me, maybe. And I thought, okay, he looks odd and strange, but all the rest, it seems a really, really good condition. So he tells me that he apologized if he didn't stand up, but didn't feel well. And so I asked, like, about how much was the deposit and the rent and so on. And somehow I accepted, say, okay, I take it. And as I said that I would take it, he asked me if I could give him the deposit straight away. And as I said yes, but I needed to withdraw it from the ATM, he stand up like, it wasn't like, basically like if all his, being sick was actually gone. He stand up and tells me, oh, I come with you. So, okay, and even that, it should have, ring something, but nothing. So I went to the bank with him, to the ATM, withdraw the cash, give him the money, it disappeared. So he gave me the keys, and being very close to where I was, in the next few days, I started to move slowly, bits and bits, like to the new house. And finally, I moved in, and I gave him a week rent, and then as the months would start, we would go with the monthly rent. And as soon as I gave him the money, he tells me that if the next month, not the first month rent, but with the second month rent coming, if I could pay him a bit earlier, because he wanted to go to London, he said, for his sister's wedding, and he wasn't sure if he would have enough money for doing that. Even that, that's when I started to feel that there was something weird. But it was too late because already paid deposit, I paid the rent, the 1 week rent. So as he got, I tell him yes, and then he's basically he leaves the house, and he's gone. He's actually gone for, I remember, 5 days. That was so odd, because I don't know. I felt, like I've just arrived. You don't know me, and you just disappear in that way. Obviously, he rented me the room, and so obviously whatever he felt about me, he did trust me. And but I don't know, I just felt odd. You just disappear, without knowing when he would be back or if he would be back. So I just started to feel really unease. Like I started that's when my bell started to ringing like mad. So I tried to dismiss it, but there was all those dots that started to connect that made me feel that was a stupid thing to move and give the money to the guy for deposit and rent, but it was too late. So I tried to make the best of my stay, but while he was away, I got in this room that was the living room and that was open, to see if there was something weird or strange about the guy, that would confirm that my sixth sense ringing, like it was right. But everything felt okay. There was picture of him with probably his ex-girlfriend. I checked on Facebook as well, but the picture was with this woman that I assume was the ex-girlfriend or ex-wife. So on the pictures in the living room, on the pictures on the Facebook page, nothing was strange or weird. I mean, the only things that I kind of like felt about it was that he probably was married or in relationship with someone that left, and he just rented the room to make extra money. So that's nothing wrong with that. What was wrong is that while he was away, basically some houses in UK use a system for electricity and gas. It's called pay as you go. So you basically pay only what you use, and you just top it up. And when it start to run out, you will just keep topping up. Obviously, what's happening is that if you don't, if you run out of money and you don't top it up, you stop having electricity and gas. So that's what was happening. So I dropped him a message. He says he would be back the day after. He didn't. In the meantime, hot water and gas was literally really running low, like massively running low. And so I messaged him again. I said, listen, like it's just, just running low. And he says, oh yeah, I will be back in the evening. In the evening, it doesn't show up. we were almost at zero, and finally the day after, he comes back in the morning, wearing the same clothes, no bag or suitcase or backpack, and I mean, this is a guy that left for 5 days. He's literally wearing the same things of when he left, and didn't smell bad. So I guess he did have a shower. So I don't know what he did, but all was pretty strange. So he tells me if I could give him £25 to top up hot water and gas, that was even, was adding just more like strange things to the all, because I was there for just for a week. So I stayed for a week. So for that week, it shouldn't have been all that money. And even if it was for a month, consider that paying my part, it shouldn't have been that much. So I give him the money. I said, okay, so, like maybe he will kind of like detract from the rent, that part of money. But when I'm back in the evening from work, it did not top up the meter. So that was for me like that at that moment my sixth sense was buzzing like mad. I was like, that's enough. There's something weird going on. So obviously I strongly felt that the guy was a drug addict. Something had happened. He needed money. And I didn't think it would just get any better staying there. And there was this feeling of really now something off, but really bad, to the point that I called a good friend that lived in a town that was like 30-40 minutes away from by train. The town is Kirkcaldy. And I asked her, listen, this is the situation, this is off. All the situation now really is no good, no right. Listen, I said, do you think you can come tonight and put all my stuff inside and then I move to your place, because I don't want to stay here any longer. So she agrees, she comes, and I start to move all my things in her car. Like, the guy was in the room, the door was closed. So to be sure he was there, or to check if he was there, I drop him a message, and he doesn't reply. I call him, so I could hear his phone in the room ringing, but he did not pick the call. And as I was getting close to the door, I could smell alcohol. So he probably quite sure he was really drunk, if not high on drugs, and he was so fucked that he was not even able to listen to my calls, and he even he didn't even hear me moving things up and down, from the house to the stairs. So I checked everything in the car. We lived that night, and we moved to Kirkcaldy. So I drop him a message, and I says, look, all of this not right. You asked me for money for the electricity and gas. You didn't. You did disappear. All of this is wrong. I don't trust you. I don't feel comfortable to live with you. So I want my deposit back. Never got the deposit back. And I stayed for, I think it was like a month in Kirkcaldy before I found this other really dodgy landlord that actually was even worse of this one that I left. And Obviously now this episode is a story to tell, a story to share, and it's lessons that you know made me understand many things. Obviously, one of the things I learned is that again, people like this guy, unfortunately, it's just the result of a broken system. Now, I said this many times. I strongly believe that humans are naturally good. We are born naturally good and left to run our own life. We are, obviously, there can be exceptions, but naturally, we tend to cooperate and help each other more than compete and stealing from each other. This happens when you basically are put against a wall with barely enough to survive, educated with false belief of material gains and competitiveness. You need to be educated to be like this. So when you've been educated in this way, and you basically, from the people that you give the trust to support and help you to go through life, basically what they do is to just give you enough to survive, not even being sure if you can make enough. So they basically have created a system where you literally put you one against to each other. Now, they basically, what they do, first, they teach you to be dependent of them. So all they teach you is to do a job that they provide. You can't do anything else, so you can't live on your own terms because you don't know anything else. Because obviously they don't teach you how to grow your own fruits and veggies, and to be self-sustained. They teach you only that to do a job, so that basically you need to rely to them. If you don't have the job, you have no choice. Now, because all they teach you is this, all you know is this, the moment that you come to lose what we call work, or if you are in a, if you constantly you are basically made to be, to be worried about losing that job, that is the only things you know to make a living, you're gonna start to concern about your own well-being, about your own surviving. And what you're gonna do would be that then you become a monster, because then you become something that is so worried about dying, about suffering, that you are willing to make someone else suffering, or accepting someone else suffering for your own surviving. And this is because all the systems have been designed to put you in this situation. This landlord, and then the landlord after that, and the one previous that, they are literally people that they were kids at some point, playing with other kids, smiling, happy, playing together, and then they've been put in a situation where they have been given literally no choice than have to think to themselves. Yes, you can choose to be kind and to share and to help others, but you must have certain circumstances that can direct you to that life journey. And this is basically circumstances out of our control that basically take us to a different path. And this is rare because most of us take the path that is being unfolded for us by, unfortunately, corrupted governments that are literally created a system that is the system that their employers, that are banks, multinationals, corporations, basically told them to do for their people. So, yeah, obviously makes me upset when I have to kind of like fight for, for just, my own rights. But at the same time, I'm fully conscious why this is happening. And what's my power? My power is just try to share those stories, try to explain why those things actually happening, try to be an example that many times brings exploitations by those people that you want to show a different way to live life. Not all the time, but most of the time. And, have faith that planting those seeds in people's consciousness eventually will bloom and bring this so needed change that we all need while living as a human beings. So I try to be the right circumstances for authors. I hope authors will be the right circumstances for somewhere else, so that we can become big and more, so that we reach a point that we are enough to actually influence and finally the direction of this existence. Finger crossed. Have a good day.